good afternoon. It's day 5 of the World Championship here in Sheffield. We're all in the groove, aren't we? Yeah. However, it's day 1 for the world number 1. Yep, you've guessed it. This afternoon, Ronnie O'Sullivan starts out in his quest for a record extending 8th world title, and with it, a season slam of all 3 Triple Crown titles. Get ready for takeoff.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, his dream to be 7 times champion of the world has been realised.
I'm enjoying playing. Massive for me. If you're enjoying something, why would you not do it? Age is just a number, you know. I still feel like I can give him a good game. You know?
Ronnie O'Sullivan has proved that he's the greatest player in the world.
Definitely set a good yardstick for the future of the snooker players. I still ain't finished yet as well, huh?
No, he's not finished indeed, and O'Sullivan steps out for the 32nd time at the Crucible at 2:30 this afternoon, and we've got world champions Steve Davis and Ken Doherty here and primed and ready for rocket launch, guys. And Steve, I think there's never been quite as much anticipation, or heightened anticipation, but potentially I should say, ahead of his arrival this time. What's at stake? Just remind us.
I think there seems to be more sort of eyes on Ronnie O'Sullivan this year than there was last year. And I think it's perhaps down to the fact that he's won the 2 other majors BBC events and looks to be in really good shape. So, therefore, loads of people, you know, fans and players, are sort of expecting him to convert this year. It's a big ask, but that's what we're expecting of him.
Absolutely, and 888 is the lovely numbers that he's after in terms of majors at the age of 48. It's the sort of perfect mathematical symmetry about the whole thing, isn't it? But with expectation comes pressure. Is this the most, do you think, he'll ever have experienced in his career?
Maybe, but he'll sort of just brush it off. You know, he's always quite self-deprecating about his form, about, you know, being the GOAT, the greatest of all time. But I think he'll actually enjoy it, to be honest. You know, I think he'll relish the pressure. The time frame is sort of shortened because he's coming in on a Wednesday rather than a Saturday, which sort of helps him a little bit. And, yeah, but I think the challenge is there for him. And I think he wants this 8. No matter what he says, he wants to have number 8. He has equal Stephen Hendry's record, number 7. Number 8 would be a perfect fit for him. Absolutely,
it would. And as you say, he's waited 5 days to play. Obviously, Steve, you've come back as a defending champion 6 times. Which did you prefer, and how do you think it'll affect his thinking, having to wait these 5 days and come into what is effectively, therefore, a kind of 12, 13-day event for him?
I think each player is different when it comes to how they can handle having loads of days off between first and second rounds. And we've all experienced, well, I say we've all experienced it, but we've experienced sort of having like 4 or 5 days before your next match. It's like, what do you do? Do you go home? Is that the right thing to do? Like, I mean, Luca Brecel went back to Belgium. You know, what do you do with that time? Or do you just stay up here practicing on the tables that are as closest as possible to the match tables out there in the practice room? I think it's dependent upon how you feel as a person, how relaxed you are. I think Ronnie O'Sullivan, as we've just heard from that interview, is as happy with his game and enjoying himself as much as possible. So maybe it doesn't matter whether he played first day or not. But I think it suits Ronnie O'Sullivan that the tournament's shorter.
But he's also had a chance to view the landscape and the development of the championship. And already he's seen no Brecel, no Williams, no Mark Selby. These are significant. Do you feel he'll think they're significant?
I would say so, because, you know, don't forget Mark Williams only a couple of weeks ago gave him, you know, a good old sort of beating in the final of the Tour Championship. Mark Selby, who he never likes playing, is out as well, even though he's in the top half. But yeah, those are significant sort of adversaries that are already gone out. Still some great players in there who are playing some great snooker, and he will find lots of challenges ahead. But yeah, I mean, all the stars are aligned for him, and also just the way he's been playing. He's been picking and choosing his tournaments this year. You know, he's won 5 times. And, you know, he's been playing some wonderful snooker along the way. But I think of all years, he's been in a really happy place this year.
Absolutely, and 2:30 is the start time for Ronnie. Now, if you've got jobs planned, if you've got really important things to do, you have our permission to shelve them for the afternoon. These are our plans instead, and I hope you'll share them. First up, who'll emerge from the top tie of round one? World number 7, Ding Junhui, under pressure against Jack Lazowski, the highest-ranked qualifier here. The jackpot was 1 frame ahead overnight in a superb big break fest. Now, Ronnie O'Sullivan will set out this afternoon on his quest for 8, taking on the young Welshman Jackson Page. We'll also catch up with the pistol Mark Allen, who looks to be making quick-fire progress towards round 2. And Barry Hearn is in the house. Snooker's present and future up for discussion with the sport's former Supremo. And he'll be popping in a little while. Ken, any burning questions you'd like to ask the gaffer?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'd like him to exclusively reveal what's going to happen with the Crucible after 2027, because a lot of talk, a lot of dissension in the papers about maybe moving it somewhere else. I wouldn't like to see it move. I think this is the home of the World Championship. I'd love it to stay, and I'd love to hear what he has to say. OK, I'm writing it down. All right. And Steve, we saw Mark Williams go out yesterday and rather cryptically say, well, he's going to miss this place. Now, you said with Rishi last night, and I quote, you felt he was intimating there might be something afoot. What do you mean?
Yeah, I feel that there's sort of bubbling under of some type of sort of, breakaway type of thing going on, which is fascinating that the players feel that they're in a position to be able to do that. And with sort of certain breakaway things, the first people that may be going to be susceptible to that are the older players who want to make a few quid towards the end of their career. Happens in football. So maybe somebody's offered Mark Williams something where he doesn't have to put himself on the line every day, playing in some showcase tournaments in other parts of the world. That feels to me what's occurring. Whether the younger players are going to want to go down that road is another matter. But there are interesting times. And the reason why we're in these interesting times is because the game's getting bigger.
Yeah.
If the game was still its little small world in the UK, this wouldn't be happening. So it's actually the success story of snooker is getting worldwide. And because of that, there are interesting things afoot. OK, I'm going to write that one down as well. Thank you very much, Steve. OK.
You might run out of ink.
I might now. It is time for some